Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Pierre Thabet, the president of Boa-Franc. Pierre, how you doing?
Very good. Yourself?
I'm good. You've got some big news. You have acquired the Ten Oaks operation in Stuart, Virginia. We'll get to that in just a minute. Most people in this country know of your brand, Mirage. You sell hardwood flooring under the Mirage brand name. One of the things you're best known for is the fact that you focus on being the best. You said it's more important to be the best than the biggest, right?
That's correct.
I'd like to point out, too, I did a leadership interview with you in Floor Focus magazine in April of 2016. So if anybody wants to go back to that article and read a little bit more about Pierre, very interesting background. You bought this business in '83, and soon after you bought it, it burned to the ground, and you had to totally rebuild it, right?
That's correct. 6 months after I bought, on March the 3rd, '84, we had a major fire, but less than 3 months after, we were back in production. So,
Well, one of the things I'd definitely like to point out, I look up to you for three primary reasons. One is you maintain a singular focus. This day and age in the flooring business, almost every company has decided that they want to have the latest product along with the product they started with, so they diversify. You've got a singular focus. You're in the hardwood flooring business, and you're privately owned. You own the business, and you're a long-range thinker. So kudos to you for that, Pierre.
Thank you.
So let's talk about business first. How's your business this year?
Business is okay. I mean, some parts of the North America we are doing fine, just fine, and some others are more challenging, but overall it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay.
And I think part of the reasons that hardwood sales are off is because at retail in the replacement business or even in the builder business, there's been a conversion over to the latest hot product, this LVT product, right?
That's the excuse that people are giving for it, but we make real wood and not the look-alike. And, for me, it's a shame to see some wood people jumping into the LVT bandwagon. And time will tell, but people will realize one day that it is plastic and not environmentally friendly.
Yeah, let me just also ask you, you are a long-range thinker. I'm guessing you're thinking this is a trend or a fad and that eventually people will buy the right product.
That's what I think, because when I watch HGTV, the two things that help sell a house are hardwood floors and granite countertops.
Yeah.
So wood is still the product of choice, and consumer wants the real thing, but unfortunately not everyone can afford it. So this is one of the reasons why other types of floor covering are copying the wood look.
Yeah, one thing you said just then I'd like to pivot on, too, is it's another interesting point. There's nothing wrong with people paying for what they get. So along those lines, I'm sure you have salespeople who say, Pierre, I can get that business if you just let me go to this price. I'm sure you have to say, hey, you get what you pay for, and it's okay that we cost a little bit more, right?
That's correct, but let me give you a little advice of what we are doing is you have the price and you have the cost.
Yeah.
The price is on the invoice, where you have the perception of having saved. You will realize the true cost after a few years if the product fails.
Yeah.
A warranty is as good as the paper it is written on, and if the manufacturer is not profitable, you will go out of business and won't be able to honor the warranty. So we offer peace of mind.
Well, talk about what attracted you to Ten Oaks and tell us a little bit about why you decided to make that acquisition.
Okay, we started looking for a U.S. platform about 5 years ago. We didn't want to start from scratch because it is too difficult. Key elements that we were looking for were a fit, like cultural and strategic, a skilled workforce in wood flooring, a good location, good lumber supply, especially white oak, good setup, from the yard up to, the finished product, a good ecosystem, and a good reputation. We visited many companies, but we found all of the above at Ten Oaks. Buddy Williams and his family are the founder, and they have great reputation. They have a quality reputation, and this is similar, to what we have here, the values. And they are solid only and mainly unfinished, but they have all the foundation that it needs to go further into the value chain.
All right, so it was a good match because as you say, Buddy Williams, who I think's approaching lower 80s, 82 years old or so. He's been running this. So people who have the right values, you generally hire the right people. So you're getting a whole staff of employees that have been hired and work for Buddy, and you're excited about that. There's also, though, the factor of Stuart. Stuart, Virginia, has got some of the best white oak in the country, doesn't it?
It is one of the good places, to get white oak. Yes, that's correct.
Mirage sells both solid and engineered, and as you said, this is an unfinished solid plant. So down the road, I guess you'll be looking at various ways of adding some capabilities at this location?
Like moving up the value chain. First, I think they started making pre-finish about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is increasing gradually. But first, we have a 2-year transition plan. We need to know more about them. We need to know the people. We need to implement our business philosophy, which will not be that difficult because they have the right foundation. And once we are able to compare, then we'll work with the people over there to grow up, and eventually make engineer and other product because the base is there.
As we look at this business from our armchair position, and we see where Armstrong gets out of the hardwood business, and we see where even this facility here was once owned by Tarkett and then also owned by Shaw, or at least half of it, the Stuart, Virginia part of it. What is it you see, and what is your long-term vision that they didn't see, you think?
The difference between us and them, I cannot judge the competition. I will just say one comment is that we are a true wood expert. We have sawdust in our veins, and it's a question of focus. And in the case of the last owner, Shaw, they are in other floor covering also. So solid, unfinished was far from their core business. So I think that's the main difference. I wake up in the morning, I think about wood, and I may wake up during the night thinking about wood. I don't think about LVT or other stuff.
This whole latest trend around waterproof, if you install a floor and put the right finish on it, there's generally not any water issues, are there?
Water issues is something that you don't have the control over it. Wood and water are not the best friends. If you have a water flood into the home, it's not just the flooring that will be affected. It's a question of marketing in there.
These floors have withstood the test of time for centuries.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Pierre, it's great to talk to you. Congratulations on this acquisition. You've been talking to Pierre Thabet, the president of Boa-Franc, based in Quebec, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.